In studio now, we do have Naireen Louw. Naireen, good morning, darling.
Good morning. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm well, thank you.
Good to have you here once again.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah. Now, Naireen, last week
Mhm.
I was going through social media,
Right.
and there's a lady who had put together, she'd put up a post. And in this post, she states that she got married in April. Okay, she put up a picture of her celebrating her wedding, dancing during her wedding day
Okay.
in April, and then in July, she'd filed for divorce.
Wow. Okay.
Yes, and so I was like, wait, what happened? Right, what happened?
Yeah.
And so I rushed to the comment section to see what exactly happened. So she said it was an abusive relationship, right? And she left. I think she left on the first slap, or the first violent case, the first violent situation. When I went through the comment section, I saw a lot of people saying, and this was from a lot of women, who were saying, you left in time, at the right time.
Yeah.
The comments of people saying you left at the right time, but then the comments of women who are also saying, I stayed for 5 years, for 10 years,
Yeah.
and endured that abusive space. And one said, after 13 years, I got the courage to leave. Another one said, after 5 years, I got the courage to leave. Another one said, I'm still here in this situation,
Yeah.
right? And it never stopped from the first slap, right? So this brings us to this conversation that we want to have today. Why people find it hard to leave abusive relationships.
Yeah.
In your own perspective, what are the most common reasons people stay in abusive relationships?
It's all psychological manipulation.
Yeah.
As human beings, we're social creatures, so we need to have relationships.
Yeah.
That's why we're geared towards having, from adolescence, we start having best friends, we start having, boyfriends, girlfriends, even though it's puppy love, there's nothing really physical happening there.
Yeah.
But we need that sense of belonging. It's a need. It's at par with your safety, food, clothing, shelter. Belonging is at par with that. So when you have someone saying, you're mine, we belong together, this is we have that love.
Yeah.
Right? It's the chemicals that rush through your brain are completely controlling now how you behave in that situation, right? And that now gets you to a point where and most abusers are manipulators, they manipulate that sense that you have of belonging to me. So they use words like, it's us against the world. No one understands me like you do. No one makes me a better person, because it's both male and female can be abusers.
Yeah.
And you begin to feel that this person is where I belong. This is my person, And then they introduce a lot of manipulation tactics to keep you there, so that you find it. That's why you see someone is saying, I'm still there, or I left after 13 years. 13 years. Oh, it's intense.
Yeah.
But I'm happy that the lady you were talking about left, and there's a lot of reasons why people actually stay. Yeah.
Okay, I want to take you back to when you say abusive is for both. It's both men and women. Both parties can be abusers.
Definitely.
How does it reflect? How does it show when a partner is abusive?
The signs you want to look out for are emotional manipulation, firstly.
Yeah.
They make you feel less than, but they always begin with hyping you up. Now, this is where we have to be very careful.
Yeah.
And especially for parents who have adolescent teens, adolescent children, you want to start teaching them this.
Yeah.
The natural case when you're courting someone is that you want to hype them up. You're so beautiful. Oh, you look so perfect in that dress. I never had anyone make me feel this way, which is normal, right?
Yeah.
But where you notice some red flags or something that should set the warning bells going is that there'll be backhanded compliments included there, like I chose you, you're not the type of girl I usually date, but I'll date you.
Yeah.
You're not as rich as the guys I usually date, but I'll date you.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. So they make you feel like you're so lucky, I'm with you.
Yeah.
Okay? They let
I
you know
like
that
that.
there's competition. There are other people who want me, so you're lucky. Okay?
Yeah.
And then when you begin to notice that they're emotionally not present for you, when they're love bombing you. Love bombing means they're constantly showering you with gifts, making sure you're full of compliments. And what that does is it's in your brain, there's a war going on. Your brain is doing the warning bells. This person is not safe. They're making you feel bad about yourself.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if he didn't love me or if she didn't love me, would he have bought
They
me
wouldn't
that?
give me this.
Would he have done? Yeah, would he introduce me to his mom?
Yep.
No, this is love. And so you convince yourself.
Yeah.
And the warning signs keep getting louder and louder and louder.
Yeah.
And then we have that cycle of abuse that we can now go into if you want to.
So we're very confused.
Yes. It's complete psychological warfare.
It's like you're showing me a lot of love and affection, but then at the same time, you're also really making me feel like I'm not good enough for you.
Precisely. And this is now the catch. Where do we learn about relationships?
Yeah.
From our parents. Remember, our parents in the typical African setting,
Yeah.
you probably never saw your parents kiss. You probably never saw them hold hands or show affection. So you're not learning about romantic relationships from them. You're learning from TV, from shows, from now social media, and you're seeing those things and you're expecting those things, but they're not showing you the healthy, what is real. They're showing you this very showy thing, and you want that, and so you get confused. It's like, what's happening? This should be happening. No, this shouldn't be happening. And so the pattern that you're supposed to
But then also they make me feel like you're lucky I am with you, right? And when I noticed how they make me feel and I pulled back, there's love bombing again.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're pulling me back in. So if I decide that I'm going to stay with Salim and I've seen Salim's character, what happens if I continue staying with him longer? What does that do to me mentally?
It's a complete dismantling of your sense of self.
Okay.
It's a dysregulation of your nervous system. Now, this is what I want people to understand.
Yeah.
Your nervous system is what keeps you in a sense of calm. Okay, you're at balance. Okay, that's why when people we now teach parents, don't scare children. You know, you go and you say boo, like don't do that, because the chemicals that rush are really bad. So whenever you're in an abusive relationship, the person puts you on your toes. Now you're walking on eggshells. You're worried about what's going to happen next. Even when they're in the calm state, you'll know that there's an explosion coming. So you're constantly dysregulated. You're never at peace. You're constantly fatigued. You're constantly anxious. You're biting your nails. You're constantly tapping. You're isolating yourself from friends and family. You're making your world so small. And this now goes hand in hand with what this person is now going to tell you or will tell you as the abuse continues. You're useless, you're worthless, you're nothing without me, you're powerless, there's nowhere you will go. And our brains, when we hear something, like if I say to myself, I'm beautiful, it registers like you saying that I'm beautiful. So I believe it.
Yeah.
So when you say I'm powerless, I'm useless, my brain is going, yes, we are. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. And then that person now has you by the neck. They've got you.
Anyway, okay. Now my question is: now that you've mentioned our parents, we always learn from our parents, and then the shows, the whatever, the TV shows, and the blah blah blah. Are we cultured by nature in Africa now? That is. To fail in the system of marriage, because we don't see our parents kissing, we don't see our parents holding hands. Now we get into relationships and then to marriage and then wrangles there, papa, and then umesema boom boom.
Boom. Explosion, yeah.
Yes, those boom explosion. Are we cultured to be in that situation?
I think there's a shift that's happening, and sociologists, maybe you can be better placed to respond to this, but in my observation, there's a shift in the reasons why our parents got married and our grandparents got married, and why we are getting married, and possibly why our children will want marriage, with many people now opting to stay out of marriages, because marriage is a contract, and it's a contract of servitude, where you find, especially in our culture right now, when we say our, I mean African culture, and majority of African cultures are patriarchal, where the male benefits more than the woman does from that institution. And so now we have a conflict of what I want as a woman, what the man wants as a man, and bringing those things together and seeing, how am I growing as an individual? How are you growing as an individual? How are we growing together? And then you have a kind of a recognition that this isn't working. This isn't for me. I'm not saying that it doesn't work for everyone, but the traditional concept that we have of marriage is certainly not working now.
An example of the lady now, when for the lady who said that she stayed in such a marriage for 13 years. What kind of let's look at the psychological mechanisms, like trauma bonding now, and helplessness that makes someone stay in such a relationship. Yeah.
So trauma bonding is part of the manipulation we're talking about, where I will hurt you, but I will also love you. And so that, and we see it with children, with their parents. You'll see, like, this child is being violated by the mother. They're being beaten, brutalized. But they'll still go to the mom, I love you. And you wonder, like, why? Because that child has trauma bonded. There's a conflict in the mind. How can you love me and harm me at the same time? So for her, I'm sure this is not the first time he was violent towards her. Not physical violence. There's different kinds of violence. He must have been verbally violent, but she brushed it off. Maybe he was drunk. He had a hard day at work. Something. He was fighting with his mom. Something happened. Emotional violence, meaning, sasa hiyo ndio inakukasirisha. Like, just that, it's like you make someone's emotions, you invalidate them.
You belittle that.
Exactly. You violate their sense of self psychologically. So making her believe things are true that are not true, or things that are untrue, make them true. Like, I saw you with that woman and you had your hand around her waist. What's going on? He says, well, I was just directing her. Why are you so possessive? I can't be with a possessive woman like you. Flip.
All of a sudden, it's your fault.
Exactly.
But I saw your arms around the woman.
Yeah, so you begin to question, like, your reality, your sense of reality. Right? And then this is also being put together with the constant, remember we're talking about love bombing. It's the constant, he's still bringing you gifts, or she's still bringing you gifts. Still, in terms of physical intimacy, it's the best. You're still so close with this person, and you're genuinely in love with them, and you're questioning and you're wondering, like, is this what love is supposed to be? Is this what people experience and maybe they're not showing me? Like, maybe I just need to be more patient, maybe I need to be more gentle, maybe I need to accommodate him more. And why he became violent after marriage, it's such a short period. You said April to July, that's 3 months. Why? And they probably were dating for a longer time before, because many abusers believe once you have the marriage certificate, once you've done a wedding in front of everybody, friends, family, you're now socially tied to me. You're not leaving me. You're not going anywhere. But when you're the girlfriend, they will try and test and see. But when you're a girlfriend, even for you, or a boyfriend, mentally, I can leave at any moment. When you're married, now it's a little more serious, right? So there's social implications as well. So when you're talking about trauma bonding, it's creating this kind of a master-slave dynamic where this person would not leave you no matter how terribly you treat them.
Oh. So, is that yours?
Yes.
So this morning, a lady shared a bit of a story with her ex now,
Yeah.
She had a divorce, and she said the husband would become verbally abusive, and then later on say, "Why was I even doing that?"
Oh.
And he would become physically abusive, and then go back and say, "That was very mean of me.
Yeah.
Why was I doing that?" Right?
Yeah.
And so she says that she never provoked this person. She's like, I never provoked this person. But the moment the abuse started, both verbal, both physical, it just never stopped. But there was a side of him that showed remorse. That said, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it.
It's not remorse.
What is it?
It's play acting. It's keeping you there. It's keeping alive the hope that he's a better man, that he's the man you want him to be. You remember that you're in love with the potential. You're not in love with the person. You're in love with who he can be, who he's shown you he can be while he was love bombing you. He can be considerate, he can be loving, he can be present. And so that's who the vision of this man or this woman that you have in your head, right?
Yeah.
And when they're violent, then they bring you back to that sense of, look, I'm still here. There's a chance. You might uncover this part of me. Just stick with me, stay with me, be with me, and you'll be okay. And that's not the case.
I like when you
Because if he was truly remorseful, go for therapy. Get the help that you need. Find the person that will actually help you change who you are, so that you don't continue harming the people you claim to love. Because if you tell me that you have a problem with maybe stealing, and you're telling your boss, oh, you know what, I stole 10K last month, I'm really sorry. The next month you steal again, I'm really sorry. Go get help.
Yeah. Then you're not learning.
This is not working. We need you to go and get the help that you need. But if you're consistently saying, oh, I know this about myself, I'm really sorry, but you're not taking the steps towards fixing it, that tells me all you're doing is using that recognition of your negative parts or your negative qualities as a source of manipulation again.
Okay.
Yeah.
We are speaking to Naireen Louw. She is a counseling psychologist. We're talking about why people find it hard to leave abusive relationships. And you know what? We have been in this situation. And abuse is not just physical. There's emotional. And she's broken it. You talk about emotional abuse, physical abuse. What else? Verbal.
Verbal is used for emotional and psychological abuse. There's financial abuse. There's cultural abuse. Yeah.
Okay. I want to hear the financial one. What question do you have for Naireen? 0700917917. We'll be right back. We are speaking to Naireen Louw. She's a counseling psychologist, and we're looking at why people find it hard to leave abusive relationships. Naireen, break down off air. You told me about the cycle of abuse. Let's look at the cycle of abuse and how it presents itself.
Okay, so we have many of us, especially women, we say, it'll never happen to me. The first time he raises his hand, I'm out. But there's a reason. We need to understand why mostly women stay and even men stay in abusive relationships, right? The cycle begins like this. They're love bombing you. There's a honeymoon phase. So that's the stage at which they're giving you so many gifts, so many compliments. They're so considerate. They're present for you in every way. The physical intimacy is amazing, right? And then you reach a point now where everything just kind of calms down. There's nothing much happening, but you begin to notice, now tension starts to build. You begin to notice this person is treating me with contempt. They're like, you walk in a room and they're like, side eye, or you prepare food and they push the plate away. It's usually passive aggressive communication, but you're noticing there's something not quite right. Then it moves now to the person now exploding, or there's an incident. And that means that they become now physically violent, sexually violent, or verbally violent. And they attack. And once you've been attacked, evolution tells you need to survive. So it tells you get out of there. But this person also needs you there, because that's how it gives them a sense of pleasure to abuse people, right? So how will they keep you there? They bring in the love bombing, the honeymoon stage again. And so we're back at honeymoon. Then everything calms down. Then you start getting tense again, and then they explode. Then honeymoon, over and over. But the problem is this. The spiral keeps getting larger and larger. And each incident of explosion gets worse and worse and worse. So when it starts with just contempt, moving to verbal abuse, belittling you, to actual physical abuse or even sexual violence. And because of now, one of the reasons people stay is cultural expectations.
Yes.
You begin to say, okay, maybe I just need to vumilia. Acha nivumilie tu. Mhm.
Kuvumilia ni cultural.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Culture basi iko vibaya hapa kwa mapenzi. Kuvumilia ni culture.
Up, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Before we go to the different forms, since Naireen has already stated the cultural influences, right? Can we look at the different cultural and social influences that might keep somebody in an abusive relationship?
First of all is the contract, the marriage contract.
Yeah.
Okay. There's a lot of weight that's placed on that.
Yeah.
You've had an introduction, you've had the cultural wedding, you've had now the church wedding. And in some, especially when it comes to religion, especially with a religious family, you'll find they put a lot of pressure on you to figure it out, sort it out, be more understanding of each other. I once had a client who had been attacked by her husband, and he put a knife through her hand, and the only reason it went through her hand, the palm, was because she was protecting her chest. Okay. And when we went to the religious leader to help her facilitate a divorce, they said you need to practice patience like the Pharaoh's wife practiced patience, and that's why she's going to get into heaven. There's no man as evil as the Pharaoh of biblical times, Moses. So you need to, and I have never, from that day, I have never ever worked with a client and a religious leader again. We continue purely on psychological terms because I was shell-shocked. And this is someone who I perceived was secular, you know, had their facts straight. So these are the things, the pressure that's put on women, especially, to stay in the marriage. For men, there's no or minimal support when there's violence, when there's physical violence especially. The police count it out, you know. There's so much belittling. When it's sexual violence, the friends are like, aren't you enjoying it? You know? And so even in men in their own spaces, they're not given voice, the chance to voice how they feel and what they're experiencing. So the culture as it exists right now is very much focused on the happy. She's a man, she's a woman, he's a man. Let's get together, have babies, and live happily ever after, without dealing with the issues at hand, without dealing with how to resolve conflict, how to manage your emotions, how to regulate your emotions as an adult, and how to get to a place where you're living with a person in a way that is nurturing to you both. But we just want them to, once we've done the wedding, hands off, we're done. Okay. So there's a lot of cultural pressure.
Okay. Now, kwenye hizo abuse, umetaja cultural abuse, hizo nyingine zote. Hapa kwa finance?
Financial abuse, it's interesting because sana it happens with the partner who stays at home. So usually it's the women, but we're seeing now a large number of men also staying at home.
No, that's staying at home.
Yeah. So what happens is, first of all, your career stalls. Where you are, for example, let's say here, you're both earning, let's say, whatever amount, 50,000, right? If you decide to stay home and take care of your children over the next 5 years, and you come back into your career, you're not going to be paid the same as Miriam, who stayed working on her career and her career growth. Okay. The second thing that happens is access to the funds. The partner who is earning tends to question, belittle, and infantilize, meaning make you feel like a child. Like, can I have 1,000 bob for what? What are you using it for? You have to now account for it, you know, which completely erodes your sense of self-worth as an adult. Okay. They also tend to make you limited in the money they do give you. So, for example, if somebody is paying for your hair, paying for your nails, if it's the man paying for the hair and nails, or your wife now is giving you your money to do your haircut, give me the till number. I'll pay directly. They don't want you to have cash in hand.
Now that is financial abuse.
Yes.
Cool,
Because
cool.
why don't
I've
you
seen
want your
that.
partner to have
Yeah.
extra money? Why don't you want her or him to have extra money to go and hang out with the friends?
Like, why are you paying? Why are you asking for the till number? Why
Just
don't you
pay.
just
Because
send the
I don't
money?
want you to have money, because money, once you have money, you have freedom to use it, right?
Yeah.
And that involves usually a circle of friends. And when you start
Uh-huh.
telling your friends these things that were happening in our home, and that's where you'll find many abusers isolate
you.
Yes. They'll tell you, that friend of yours, I don't like her. Keep her away from me. Keep him away from me. I don't like that person. Because that person is questioning. They're like, Miriam used to live her life. Why
Yeah.
is she? Why has she lost her spark? What's
Yeah,
happening?
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But Mimi, I am not financially abusing anyone, or am I being abused?
That's good.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought you said you were being financially abused.
Hii ni kunyimwa. Siku
Well-
abuse.
Then
Si
that,
amesema
then that is
kwamba
not financial.
abuse.
Yeah.
That one.
No.
No.
It's not part and parcel.
That's
Amekata.
entitlement.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's he's entitled to somebody else's money.
He feels entitled, yes.
Yeah. That is not fine. I'm all right.
Let's look at again, when you stay in an abusive relationship, how does abuse affect somebody's self-esteem?
It destroys it completely.
And how can you build it back? Because there's the idea of because there's somebody who's supposed to love you and make you feel loved and appreciated, right? They made you feel that way. And then all of a sudden, they're also saying things that really damage you. And most times, we love it when the people we care about say certain things. And if they don't say it, we feel some type of way, right? If they say something wrong, also it makes us feel some type of way. So how do I build if I went through abuse for a month or for 13 years, for 10 years, when somebody consistently said, you cannot be with somebody else other than me, or nobody will love you apart from me,
The way I do.
the way I do, right? You're not pretty, you're not hapo kwa society, hakuna soko yako, right?
Kwa hivyo nishawahi-
Ushaza.
You've
Kwa hivyo
meaning-
nishawahi
Your body is
kuwa-
not like it was.
exactly when
Yeah.
somebody does that, and now you're trying to rebuild. You're trying to rebuild, and you're saying, fine, you're still in this. Naireen, I want us to take it from, you're still in this marriage or this union, but you're starting to discover yourself,
Yeah.
and you're starting to realize this is not how a marriage should be. This is not a healthy relationship. So walk me through now rebuilding and even making a choice. Other people would say walk out, but there are couples who decide let's go for therapy. So walk me through the person who will say walk out, and then
Okay.
the team that would say let's go to Naireen and talk about this.
Okay. So the shorter one, let me start with the ones who go for therapy.
Yes.
The therapist will be very particular to see where the abuse is being directed from, and who the true abuse victim is. Because many times, especially with narcissistic people, they portray themselves as the victim. So that's why we say it's better you see a mental health professional rather than a religious leader, because we can pinpoint
Yeah.
who here is actually messing with who.
Yeah.
Okay. And then once, if you're both healthy, then there are steps that can be taken, and you're taken through therapy, and then the decision is reached whether to dissolve the union or to stay together and continue in bliss.
Okay.
right? But if we're talking about the person who wants to walk away,
Yeah.
the first thing is to recognize that this is not healthy for you. As soon as you accept that, start a plan. And please don't write the plan down. Don't write it down. Have it in your mind, okay? The problem with abusers is that when they know that you want to leave them, the chance of violence escalates. So you really don't want to have a plan that they have access to. You want to be very careful who you're talking to and who you're sharing with, okay? Because this is the point where we see a lot of betrayal. That friend, that sister, the cousin.
Yeah.
Many people choose religion or culture over the person that they love, unfortunately. So you want to have a plan. And what that plan includes, now why we bring up financial abuse, is many of the people who cannot leave those relationships are financially dependent on their partner, and the partner knows it. That's why they want to keep you there.
Yeah.
That's why they'll not pay for you to go for further schooling. They'll not take you, allow you to work even after the kids are older. The reason they kept you home maybe was take care of the babies. Now they're older. I need to go work. No. There's something always happening. So they want to keep you there. So you need to get financial independence. Try and figure out if you can get something online, if you can do service works, acts of service for people where they pay you, like go and organize someone's home, organize their laundry, do lunch snacks for their kids, do pick and drop for kids, whatever. Try and figure out what you can do so you can start setting money aside. Reach out to those friends that you've isolated from, the family members that you've isolated from. If you feel safe enough, there are organizations that you can reach out to and see what kind of support they can offer you. Don't be shy about seeking help.
Yeah.
Ask, so that you know this is what I'm getting from this person, this person, this person. Once you're in a position to have your own home, now when I'm talking about a home, I'm not talking about a villa.
Yeah.
We're talking about a room, a bed sitter, a room with a Louw, and you're okay. You can live there, you can survive on your one chapati a day.
Yeah.
Get out.
I like that.
Yeah. If you're waiting till the point where you're sustaining or maintaining the lifestyle that the person is providing for you, it'll take you years, if not ever, for you to get to that point. So go leave and work from down. At least if you're in a lesser position socially in terms of financial capacity, it's better that you have that, and that's the stressor, not knowing what to eat, rather than will I live till tomorrow?
Yeah.
Will I find this person on top of me, during the night? How will he violate me, or how will she violate me the next day? For your mental peace, you need to value yourself first, and then now bring these other things into play.
Okay, I like what you've said about valuing yourself first, because loving yourself is not as easy as we think. It's not as easy as we think. Like choosing us is not as easy as we think. What are the first steps that I need to take when it comes to loving me and choosing what's best for me? And
for people who have, because remember we're talking about people who don't have access to money.
Yes.
Social media. Be careful though. Check the credentials of the person who's saying they're a psychologist or a mental health practitioner. Use Google. Just check and see what this person is talking about. In Kenya right now, many of us therapists offer free or subsidized, completely free, mental health support for people who are in abusive relationships. Okay, so that we know we can get you out. Once you're out, you're stable. Whoever you'll continue with, you'll pay them. But that's my role as a caregiver, right? So make sure you're watching. If you're on TikTok or any of the social media, they have those exercises that we use in therapy. Some are a little out there, but some of them are really good. Asking yourself questions like, what would the younger me tell me right now? What would I say to the younger version of me? When did I lose my voice? Think back. At what age were you when you lost your voice? When did I stop being happy? When did I stop singing? When did I stop dancing? When did I stop being joyous? When did I stop being full of life? Who took that from me, and how do I get it back? So in recognizing and performing small acts of kindness. Remember what I told you, when I say something out loud, my brain receives it like it's you saying it to me. So when that person says you're useless, tell yourself, no, I have worth. Okay, and do this religiously twice a day, looking in the mirror, say it out loud. It feels ridiculous at first, but the strength that it builds is amazing. Look for community, whether it's on social media, whether it's within your own area, or with family, with friends. Start spending time with people. Start spending time with people who will uplift you. And again, here, remember, be careful with who you're sharing your plans with. Not everybody is looking at you and smiling at you, wants to actually see you succeed and see you safe. Be very careful. And in terms of self-help and learning about self-esteem, one of the exercises we do is to write, I am, I portray, I will be, I see myself as. Okay? So I am being what everybody sees you as. Okay?
Yeah.
I'm short, I'm tall, I'm a mother, whatever it is, right? I portray. What are the things you want people to see you as, right? And then I will be. What do you want for yourself? And then now for your ideal self, who do you want to be? So what you want to be and who you want to be are two very different. So you have that planned out, and sometimes it can shock you that you may want to be a businesswoman driving a Mercedes, and you have your own house, but you're not taking the steps to get you there. And sometimes that's all the jolt someone needs, is to like, okay, I can see myself. We ask questions like, what are you wearing? When you're in visualizing yourself, what are you wearing? What do you smell like? What does your hair look like? What makeup do you have on? See it. And once you see it, then that's what we're working towards. You're very clear now. And that's usually, for many people, that's all it takes. And that they get the oomph to go.
I like that.
Yeah.
A healthy relationship, what does it look like?
It's nurturing. Yeah. When we talk about love, I will recommend to everyone listening, please read books by bell hooks. Love cannot exist where there is abuse. They're contradictory to each other. It's like saying, oh, it's so much light in this darkness. What are you saying? There's so much sweetness in this salt. You're like, what? Huh? You cannot have love and abuse in the same relationship. That's what even I tell parents. If you're hitting your child, you do not love them. Cannot exist in the same thing. Love is nurturing. Love is a verb, meaning it's something you choose to do over and over and over, and it's a feeling. So you sustain that feeling by choosing to love this person over and over and over. So a healthy relationship includes nurturing, and then if we're talking about a romantic relationship, you have trust, vulnerability, and authenticity. Authenticity means you being you. You're real you. You sing like a frog, but you sing in front of the person you love. Because that's who you are. Do it, And these three things are held together by communication. So if you have those three in place and you're communicating well, you're good to go.
Na nikiimba hapa anasemanga niko na sauti mbaya.
But I don't love you.
She said she doesn't love you.
But this is not a healthy relationship. Whatever relationship we have is so unhealthy.
You see, we are already living in dark inside our light.
What?
I'll give you sessions.
I'm the darkness in your light.
Ako hapa hata you are openly naisema ikutoke.
This is so good, Naireen.
This is so deep. Not only good, so deep.
Oh, thank you. I'm happy to share.
Hata mimi nimeshakachora.
I know you have. My takeaway, and I love what you said when you say love cannot exist where there is abuse. So anytime we experience any form of abuse, and we have, and I always say if each of us could share our story, you'd realize that each of us has gone through a form of abuse.
Na si hiyo physical. Unajua mtu
akiambiwa
abuse anafikiri tu it's the physical.
No.
It is not physical. Kuna financial, kuna cultural, kuna
like there's emotional, there's all of it, right? And so we need to be able to notice, and we need to be able to be keen enough to see how abuse represents, or rather presents itself. Yes. And my take home today, trust, vulnerability, authenticity, and then it's cemented by communication.
Lazima to communicate.
What would you tell, in short, what would you tell somebody who's in an abusive relationship and they think it's love and they're still doing the cycle? They're going through the cycle. What would you tell them?
Recognize the pain. When they're putting you in, when you're experiencing pain, where is that pain coming from? And if it's coming from them, then that person doesn't love you. Look at what they do, not what they say. And in your most vulnerable moments, because remember, this is all about sadism and people who enjoy hurting people. When you're your most vulnerable, does this person uplift you, or do they keep you there and relish it? Do they enjoy seeing you hurt? And if they do, that's not love at all. Yeah.
Thank you so much. And I know we've left one part of this conversation that I would like you to come back and talk about. We've talked about the person being abused, but I also want to understand what goes on in the mind of an abuser.
Yeah.
Right? Why do they do what they do? And how did that present itself in the childhood? And how can they also alter that?
Sure.
Yes, so definitely we'll have Naireen back.
Wonderful.
Naireen is a counseling psychologist. Where can they find you on social media for people who want to reach out to you?
This parenting thing, KE, on TikTok and Instagram, or they can email me on Louw, LOUWNAIREEN @gmail.com.
Okay.
Yeah.
Remember, this parenting thing, KE, check her out on TikTok and on Instagram. We'll be right back.
Thank you.